What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Slide8 Fry here. So I'm doing another React video. This is going to be a longer one for sure. I'm actually on top of a parking garage right now. I would record more videos at home, but unfortunately, well, my wife's in a condition I'm not going to get into, but she needs to stay home in the room and rest up. But when she's better, I'll be able to record these at home, at the comfort of home, and not have to go out and record in random places. It's about the Lola Bunny controversy. This will be interesting.
Space Jam, one of the greatest animated movies of all time.
No.
Better than Beauty and the Beast.
It's great, but
better than Toy Story.
No.
Better than Spider-Verse.
No.
And you want to know why? Two words.
The hell is that one above it?
Lola Bunny. A character who single-handedly made an entire generation go, huh, I did not know that about myself.
Is that embarrassing, Blair? That ever happened to you? You're sitting there, you're watching an animated film, and you suddenly find yourself attracted to the animated figure. Isn't that terrible? The Little Mermaid? Oh.
Well, in early March of 2021, it was officially revealed that Lola Bunny would have a new design for the sequel of Space Jam. Well, actually, it was revealed in December of 2020, but no one cared. But now they do. They care a lot. And let's just say that some people weren't happy about this change.
Oh,
there was such an uproar that Lola Bunny even started a trend on Twitter. Oh, and I made the mistake of going through the tags, and yeah, some of you all need Jesus.
Let me explain. I just don't see what's so funny about the fat Bugs Bunny.
Honestly, I think that this entire Lola is an opportune time for us to have a discussion about character designs and how and why they change. How some characters evolve over time, both with their designs and with their personalities, and whether these changes are an improvement or not. As a matter of fact, I did a video about Lola a few years ago, where I spoke about her transition from Space Jam to the Looney Tunes show. Like, if you're upset over the redesign for Lola from Space Jam 1 to Space Jam 2, then you might want to avoid the Looney Tunes show, because they practically reinvent her for that series.
Which was a good idea.
Hello? Hi! Oh, nothing. I'm just on a date. A really cute guy. He's sitting across from me right now. He's really looking at me. Oh, no, wait. Now he's looking down. Now he's looking around. Oh, nope. He's looking at me again. I better go. Okay, call me later. Bye.
Friend of yours?
Nope. Wrong number.
But there is no doubt about it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the single greatest controversy of our age.
It's so
a controversy so great that it may divide the world itself. Those who are for the original design of Lola, and then those in favor of the redesign. Who is right? Who is wrong? Which side has the stronger argument? And which of these people are just some furries in denial that can't admit that they have a crush on a cartoon rabbit from the 1990s? Why are you holding up a mirror? Oh, got it. Let's take a closer look. Before we dive into the Lola Bunny controversy, I think it's important to know about the origins of Lola and how she came to be. So technically, Lola's origin dates back to the 1950s with a precursor character called Honey Bunny. She was a little white rabbit who was initially the cousin of Bugs Bunny. Now, this early design was more of a prototype, as Honey would get a more proper introduction in the mid-1960s via the Looney Tunes comic. At that point, she was no longer related to Bugs and was officially his girlfriend.
Okay.
We're not related, it'll be okay.
Actually, it's kind of funny. So many people are upset about the recent changes of Lola for Space Jam, yet here you have Honey, who went through massive redesigns over the course of a few years.
Oh, the internet
she went from being
wasn't
a
around
white
then.
rabbit to being a little yellow rabbit to essentially being a girl version of Bugs. Which, by the way, have you all seen this version of Bugs in drag? Yeah, makes you think about it, doesn't it? Come on and slam, and welcome to
Furry Denial.
Now, Honey herself would never officially appear in a Looney Tunes cartoon or movie, though her spiritual successor would. In the mid-1990s, a little movie called Space Jam was being made. It was a simple movie with a simple plot. Michael Jordan playing basketball against a bunch of evil aliens who want to enslave the Looney Tunes. You know, a tale as old as time. Speaking of tale, that's a bad pun. Warner Brothers wanted to inject some girl power into Space Jam. and said, "Hey, let's bring back this Honey Bunny." After a few initial sketches, Warner shot down the idea of Honey, saying that she looked like Bugs in drag, and that a new character is in order. Enter Daisy Lou, aka Lola Rabbit, aka Lola Bunny. At first, Lola looked more tomboyish and looked a bit younger as well, which, by the way, caused some problems of McDonald's of all places. According to my sources, quote, McDonald's had refused to sell Lola Rabbit toys and Happy Meal items if that was to be her final appearance to be used in the film, on the grounds that it would be wrong to have Bugs Bunny paired up with what resembled a teenage girl.
Wow.
I mean,
wow,
I guess, yeah, fair point. So now the artists for Space Jam had to redesign Lola all over again. They even got some advice from the legendary Chuck Jones and Friz Freleng. So these two worked on Looney Tunes back in the day.
Yes, they did.
These guys are legends.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Despite getting advice from them, the folks on Space Jam never used their advice. Something about how Chuck and Friz didn't care for Lola and thought that she was a pointless character that would only weigh down Bugs Bunny. But it's safe to say that Warner Brothers ignored their advice and proceeded with their own goals in mind. Regardless of whether you like Lola's design or not, it's always remarkable to me seeing the brainstorming and conceptualization phase of a character's design, to see the artists and writers brainstorm ideas and discover what works and what doesn't work. I mean, just check out all these sketches. There's some really interesting stuff here, and it truly shows the process of how Lola's final design came to be. Oh, and it should be noted that there are two different versions of Lola. There's the character model from the movie, and then there's the design that was used for promotional images and merchandising. For the movie, Lola has, quote, a powder puff tail, rosy red eyelids, and slipper-shaped foot pads. Her secondary fur color is a light tan, while her hair and tail are cream-colored. While the promotional Lola, quote, has a teardrop-style tail similar to Bugs Bunny's, foot pads that extend all the way around her feet, yellow blonde hair that extends down to the back of her head, and her secondary fur color is white. This version of the character is the one dictated by the official Warner Brothers style sheets used for merchandising purposes.
Completely different. Huh?
It's pretty funny, actually, because apparently this sketch here, which I notice has been making the rounds on Twitter, has an amusing story behind it. According to Bob Guthrie, an artist who worked on Space Jam and drew this particular sketch, he said that this drawing was a joke that was sent to Warner Brothers by mistake.
Oops.
And Warner was like, unacceptable! Do not do this image. Send it back. It's hilarious because Warner's like, we want her sexy, but not too sexy, but sexy enough. You know what I'm saying? Art commissions. Am I right?
Yeah.
Actually, truth be told, I'm having a hard time discovering who exactly is responsible for the creation of Lola. Like, I have it narrowed down to a few names, but the answer isn't as straightforward as I thought it would be. According to Lola Bunny's wiki page, which, by the way, there's a Lola Bunny wiki page, it says that Lola was created by Herschel Weingrod, Timothy Harris, Leo Benvenuti, and Steve Rudnick. But from what I can tell, these are the writers for Space Jam. I want to know who's responsible for the drawings, though. Who came up with the actual design? Now, I know I mentioned Bob M. Guthrie before, but I believe that he only worked on the promotional art for Lola, and not the movie designs. People on my Twitter said that it might be Dan Haskett or Jim Camerud. And also, when you look at the credits for Space Jam, it says that the directors of animation are Bruce W. Smith and Tony Cervone. But once more, I'm not getting a clear answer here. Who designed this girl? What are you trying to hide, Warner? Is this some kind of conspiracy? Yeah, I'm gonna crack this case. It goes all the way to the top, and I'm gonna bust it wide open. Maybe Warner was like, what were we thinking when we asked these horny artists to draw Lola sexy? Quick, burn the sketches. No one must know. At the end, though, we have a character design.
Remember, it's in the description of his video. I mean, I guess I could add the links myself to this react, but watch his video.
Personality who is sexy, but not too sexy. Enough to get howled at by guys with big cartoony eyeballs, but not sexy to the point where it makes parents and children uncomfortable. They were looking for that middle ground back in the mid-1990s, and I think they found it. Because man, do some people really love Lola Bunny. Now, I think it's important to keep in mind that companies usually make the final decisions when creating characters. Artists can only do so much until corporate walks into their office with a bunch of write-ups that usually don't make any sense and only exist to push products. These poor artists grinding their teeth as they have to work with business people who don't know anything about good art. Make your titties big, but not too big, but big enough. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You stupid artist.
Bunny boobs.
Do you not like the color? The color's fine, just make it look cooler. Do you not like the shape? The shape's fine, just make the whole thing, cooler.
Thanks. So Space Jam would be the official starting point for the Lola Bunny that many of us know. But this would not be her only appearance. From Space Jam onward, Lola would appear in a handful of other Looney Tune properties. Baby Looney Tunes, Tweety's High-Flying Adventure, Lunatics Unleashed, kind of, Looney Tunes Rabbits Run, New Looney Tunes, and of course, the Looney Tune Show. That Lola is easily my favorite version. They turned her from a sexy basketball player to being this over-the-top, ridiculous stalker. Quite the change of character, but it works really well in the context of the show. If you want to know more about this version of Lola, then go check out my other video. So yeah, Lola Bunny might be relatively new compared to the rest of the cast for Looney Tunes, but she's had her own fair share of changes throughout the years.
Yeah.
It's funny because most folks don't know about these different versions of Lola and only care about how she's portrayed in Space Jam, which I guess that makes sense because that's where she got her start. They only know her as that one bunny girl, which was the first step on a slippery slope. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So now that you all know a little bit more about the origin of Lola, I suppose we should talk about the reason why we are here to begin with. Her design update. It's kind of funny because compared to these other versions of Lola, this change isn't that drastic. Yet some people are really up in arms about it. Geez, I wonder why. First off, let's clear the air on this one particular mistake. See this tweet? Well, it's one of the posts that went viral about Lola and her redesign. And it got a lot of people upset. Guess what? That image on the left? That's fan art. The actual Lola from Space Jam isn't nearly as curvy or long in the legs.
Oops,
like, yeah, she's sexy, but not that sexy. Trust me, Warner made that fact abundantly clear. But as you all can see, that's the main discussion people are having about this redesign.
That's really
why did they tone down the sexiness of Lola? Now, before I get into it, I just want to laugh at all the people who are like, yeah, I'm not a furry, but they're also like, hey, what did they do with Lola's boobies? Where'd they go? Bro, that was my childhood. Yeah, you keep living in denial.
Yeah.
Put the mirror away, Nick. Put it away. Let's compare and contrast. So the original Lola from Space Jam is more sensual, and that's definitely on purpose. Midriff, crop top, short shorts, and just the overall tone of her character, right down to the delivery of her lines and the sexy music that accompanies it. Don't ever call me doll. Again, there is no doubt that Warner Brothers wanted her to be the hot girl, the love interest for Bugs Bunny, the girl who gets Googled at by a crowd of anthropomorphic creatures.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess she's good at basketball too, so there's that.
The girl's got some skills.
But this new design, this picture that's causing civil unrest and war throughout the entire world.
It's a good design, I think.
It's not that much of a change.
It really isn't.
They toned things down on her clothes and the sides of her chest, but that's really it. Besides those minor tweaks, she's practically the same character from the first movie. And that's where we get into the muddy part of the discussion. For what it's worth, I'm a guy. So maybe I'm missing some perspective, so keep that in mind. I'm just gonna do my best to share my own opinion on the subject. But I do find it ironic that so many people are upset about the new changes with Lola and toning down her sexuality that it almost seems like the character to them is now worthless. that says a lot about how they view the original character. Oh, you're not hot anymore? Well, then what's the point of having you here? Honestly, I feel like that's the main reason why most folks even talk about Lola to begin with. 'Cause she's hot. Not for her character, not for her basketball skills. No, it's 'cause she's hot.
This is what we might call dissonance of framing. The text says one thing, the camera says another. And because this is a visual medium, what the audience remembers is what the camera tells them.
Now, let me make this clear. There is nothing wrong with having characters who are sexy, but I do think context applies to the situation. One of these things is not like the other things. Well, I guess Michael Jordan. Okay, two of these things are not like the other things. I genuinely think that most people only care about the original Lola because she was sexy. But there's not much more to her character in Space Jam outside of that. And people getting upset at the change only reinforced to me how much weight is placed on her being hot, and that's it. Like, take that away, and what do you have? Well, not much. Warner Brothers wanted a hot girl for Bugs Bunny, and that's really about it. Again, there is nothing wrong with having sexy characters. For example, Jessica Rabbit, another girl who is a love interest for a cartoony rabbit boy.
Yeah.
Jessica is incredibly hot. Hell, she's probably one of the most iconic sexy girls in animation. But she genuinely has a great character that works well with her design. She loves her husband, Roger. She's compassionate and selfless and is clever and perceptive. All of these are surprising because when you first are introduced to her, they imply that she's just a pretty face and that's it. But there's so much more to her than that. But compare that to Lola in Space Jam and
not so much.
Yeah, she was there to fill a role for Bugs versus Jessica, who played a critical role in the story and wasn't just some one-note character. And for what it's worth, characters getting redesigns isn't uncommon at all.
Happens all the time.
Garfield, Mickey
Sonic the
Mouse,
Hedgehog.
Tom and Jerry, hell, even Bugs Bunny himself. And that was quite recent. Now, I'm not saying that every change is necessarily an improvement. Take the Lion King remake or Powerpuff Girls 2016, for example. Both of those reimaginings sucked. But then you got stuff like the Mickey Mouse shorts or the DuckTales reboot, which completely rock. Change is a gamble when it comes to reimagining properties. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But no matter what, change is necessary. That all being said, I think the change for Lola for Space Jam 2 isn't that big of a deal. If anything, I want to see what they do with her character and her role in the story. That's where the movie will truly prove itself to me. Is she going to be an interesting character with some level of nuance? Or is Warner going to hit us with something that's truly awful? Are they going to go from one side of the spectrum to the other? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I will tell you this, a certain website is going to come out as a winner no matter what.
That's funny. I apologize. I wasn't managing my time well enough with the with what was left of the laptop battery, so I'm gonna finish this up in my car. Hopefully in the near future I'll be able to record these at home and not have to worry about being out and about to record these.
In conclusion, I personally believe that people are overreacting to Lola's redesign. I actually think her new character model looks pretty great.
I actually think
it's a good compromise with the old and the new.
Exactly.
And it's a solid update for a new audience. That being said, I also like the original Lola too. Especially the stuff the artist sketched up while brainstorming her initial design. She's cute on the inside and the outside. And I think that this design could potentially work. Just not with Space Jam. HBO Max, come on, it's up to you. Give us an adult-themed Looney Tunes show so we can have this design justified and really have some fun with it. Lola deserves so much more than just Space Jam. Actually, y'all need to open up your third eye. Don't get stuck on this Lola stuff and miss out on the absolute insanity that is Space Jam: A New Legacy. Like, have you read the synopsis for this movie? It is ridiculous. It's going to be such a hot mess, and I cannot wait for it. Hell, maybe I might even make a drunk recap about the first movie for the occasion. Stay tuned. Or stay tuned, squad. Haha, I'm funny.
That was so funny. But anyway, that was the point. But anyway, that was good to watch. this will probably be the only time I do react to one of his videos. I actually started watching his videos again recently. It got recommended. In fact, recently, I think this was uploaded last week or the week before, I forget, he did a review of the movie Titan AE, and I learned from him that that movie actually was a huge financial bomb. I didn't know that. Like, I thought the movie was popular. I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1988. I grew up in the 90s, and I think the film came out in 2000, I believe. I don't remember. And it seemed popular here in my hometown of Santa Rosa. When I went to see it in theaters, there were, I mean, it wasn't packed, but there were a lot of people in the theater. And then Roxy Stadium, which was the newest movie theater in Sonoma County at the time, they did some special week or couple weeks or whatever where they would re-screen already existing animated movies that, you know, us kids grew up on. And Titan AE was there, and I watched it with some other people, and I watched it, and there were plenty of people in the theater watching it then too. So I was under the impression that the movie was successful. I mean, they screened it a second time for that celebration thing, and people watched. So maybe it was just popular in my hometown of Santa Rosa, but it bombed everywhere else or something, which I don't know why it'd be popular here. It just, we're known for Charlie Brown. We're not known for Matt Damon and, you know, Fox Animation Studios, which doesn't exist anymore. Anyways, moving on to Lola Bunny. Yeah, this is what's ridiculous about it. Like, now, I absolutely love the Nostalgia Critics review of Space Jam, because that's why I kept saying, Bunny boobs, because he reviewed the movie, like, way back in, like, the old days when he still had that website, that guy with the glasses, which he should have never got rid of. But anyways, he reviewed the movie back then, and he's like, what could they did to Lola? Bunny boobs? Bunny boobs? What the hell? That shit was funny as hell, so that's why I was saying that when she appeared on screen. The Space Jam version of herself appeared on screen. Look, I actually wasn't aware that people were getting pissed off over Lola Bunny's change in design for Space Jam 2, and it's pretty ridiculous people getting pissed about that. Why weren't people pissed about Bugs Bunny's redesign in the Looney Tunes show? He does not look like how he used to look like. Why aren't people pissed off about how Mickey Mouse looks like in the new shorts? He doesn't look like how he used to. Not exactly that is. It's pretty ridiculous. It's like all of a sudden, because it's Lola Bunny, and because there's like this big, weird, furry community, which she unfortunately contributed to opening up to. I still say Rouge the Bat from Sonic Adventure 2 actually really jump-started it, though. But nevertheless, these people are overreacting, okay? Look, if you need to see Lola Bunny in that design she was in, just watch Space Jam 1. That's it. Or look up the clips on YouTube, whatever. It's not a big deal. What the fuck? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Click that bell icon to have notifications. And stay tuned for some more React videos, some more live streams. I actually do have some original ideas I plan on posting on this channel. I really do. It's just I don't have as much time to work on them. But I do have plans for them. Like a Family Guy theory that I've been thinking about for a while and do really want to post a video for. I even actually rewatched, it was last month, but I rewatched the particular episode that will be like the main focal point of the video for reference. So yeah, there's that, and there's some other things there's some what ifs I've been thinking about that I just haven't put scripted on my computer yet. But anyways, thank you so much. When I have more time to work on these videos, I'll do them. And I won't just be React videos and just random 30-second shorts and live streams. I'll have some actual, like, original stuff. That said, thank you so much for watching.